One voicemail gone, one interview, and one new love that may not be as genuine as it seems. The internet may never fully recover from Chrisean's decision to speak her truth. The mess turned into a masterpiece is piece to lay, though. It appears that Chrissy is making things better for Rand this time. It may be irreversible. She is not just moving on, but also going up after years of emotional ups and downs with Blueface. Chrissy lays everything out in a stunning new interview that has social media in a frenzy after a long and poisonous relationship with Blue. She eventually finds peace and opens up about the ongoing tension with Diddy's Aunt Tia. She also teases a budding romance with a rumored NBA star. However, just when supporters believed they had heard everything, Carlos Saffold's unexpected turn sent shockwaves throughout discussion, leaving everyone in disbelief and frantically seeking clarification. For Chrissy, it's more than just a fresh chapter is a brand new novel. This isn't your normal sit-down with lots of drama, where the visitor skirts questions and gives evasive responses. You've never seen Chrisean like this before, unvarnished, unadulterated, and emotionally unforgiving. It was obvious from a distance that she wasn't there to play games or defend anyone's reputation. She arrived with her pain, her sincerity, and the kind of unfake emotional weight, with a voice full of heartache and defiance. The camera caught every trembling lip, every tearful pause, and every audacious word she spoke. She spoke without hesitation, and with a harsh tongue to reveal the dark secrets that have long lurked in the background of her story, to revisit betrayals, or to name names. There was more to this than just narrative, it carried souls. She sobbed in the middle of her sentence, not because she was weak, but rather because years of suffering had finally come to the surface. Viewers leaned in rather than out because of the vulnerability. She left behind legal receipts that would cause any attorney to pause for hard evidence, dates, timeframes, screenshots, and receipts that might have a major impact on those who believed their secrets were secure. However, it was more than just pointing fingers. Additionally, Chrisean revealed personal insights that resembled pages from a private journal. Peeling back the layers of her life, she spoke vividly about heartbreak, specifics, not simply the pain of being abandoned, but also the more profound pain of being misinterpreted, miscalculated, and abused. She talked candidly about the turmoil of dating someone who hurt her in secret, yet adored her in public, and how it influenced the woman she is now. And she turned her out into her current predicament just as you thought she was finished. Brand new. Romance has its own drama, and is already being scrutinized. However, Chrisean appeared more shrewd this time. The storm is still affecting her. However, she now holds the umbrella. It wasn't just a venting session during the interview. It was a moment of metamorphosis and an emotional reckoning. She actually faced her past head-on without feeling ashamed, shown that growth is possible even in the face of chaos by taking full responsibility for her faults. It was like watching someone regain their power via agonizing peace. As I listened to her talk, one thing is for sure. Regardless of whether you adore her or disagree with her decisions, Chrisean is no longer avoiding her reality. She is strongly and firmly standing in it. This interview wasn't just another one for the headlines. It was frank, unvarnished, unrepentant, and profoundly introspective. Chrisean, she took viewers through the turmoil of her relationship with Blueface, which was characterized by emotional outbursts, public altercations, and heartbreaking betrayals. Chrisean disclosed the emotional devastation she experienced, which included gaslighting, toxic love, and being abandoned outside a studio during her pregnancy. Acknowledging that at one point, she loved him more than she herself, she exposed drunken calls and internet slander, and she did not hold back when referring to Blueface's mother, Carissa, as a devil and designer, deciding to finally speak up after remaining silent for years. Blueface's voicemail, in which she expressed sorrow and heartbreak and declared that she would no longer let him be her weakness, was the next step in the paternity rollercoaster. Then the storyline changed to include a quiet NBA player in her life, someone tall, Tom, and very much in the moment. She teased fans with presence, cryptic flattery, and sly grins, pieces dressed in a jersey. She clapped back angrily when questioned about Diddy's Aunt Tia's dubious tweet. "I was not one of the fleas. They were the tree of your family," expressing her dissatisfaction with a person she used to admire. Carissa unintentionally went live on Facebook during a crazy time during the intermission, berating Chrisean while being videotaped. She was caught on camera by screenshots and receipts as things appeared to be coming to an end. Chrisean addressed her strained relationship with Jaden, Blueface's other baby mama, criticizing her for changing partners and forgetting that the same man had injured them both. "I am no longer the girl crying outside Blueface's door," Chrisean said, closing it all with strength. Now that she is a mother, she will never return. She made sure her return was covert until it wasn't, when Chrisean began leveling up in secret. As soon as she made her new NBA partner public, fans saw that Jaden apparently unfollowed her almost immediately, and the internet trembled. Then the shade appeared, piercing and unrepentant. Chrisean started shooting. He's hers. Instead of some rapper who turned into a darker dropout, I have a real man now. The room was genuinely quieted by a 3 a.m. Blueface's own voicemail, slurred, tearful, and remorseful. The only person who ever truly had my back was you, Rock. Without you, this house feels empty. Together, let's raise him. Chrisean gazed at the camera when the message was played, heavy but calm, stating he had every opportunity, but he put his pride before his family. That's his cross to bear now. She simply grinned when asked if all this drama would make her new lover shy away. Do you believe he is unaware of my identity, like you all? He watched the zoo and witnessed everything. You know what he said, though? I know your heart better than they do. Then she revealed his name, teasing the world, concludes with 30 points. Lost yesterday night after beginning with AJ, fans get into detective mode right away. However, Chrisean's enthusiasm was the true twist, not merely the disclosure of a new love or Blueface's frantic voicemail. She sounded strong, calm, and healed. You spent so long calling me a mess, she replied. I am the message now. Though, the interviewer's subtle, unflinching mention of rumors of blacklisting was the next step in the Diddy drama. Chrisean described how some industry veterans were upset that she brought her own table and didn't request a seat at theirs. She even disclosed a never-seen direct message that purportedly came from Diddy's Aunt Tia, in which she was denied entry to an event with only 2 words, not accepted. It was a true shade. I am now the primary character on her timeline after she attempted to stop me from attending a party unfazed, Chrisean said. However, when Carissa, Blueface's mother, called the production in the middle of filming and threatened legal action if her voicemails and DMS were broadcast, things took a turn for the worse. Chrisean let out a big laugh. You've been dragging me for 2 years, ma'am. But now that I'm presenting receipts, it's a problem. Like a judge, she held up her hand. The case was dropped. A person cannot be sued for speaking the truth. The studio applauded. Then the unexpected turn of events occurred. During the taping, a producer handed the interviewer a phone, displaying an Instagram story from a verified account. A mysterious note from the purported ex-girlfriend of Chrisean's new man. Chrisean viewed the tape in real time, and the post alluded to past romances by claiming she had been with him in cabo images and videos. Only 2 months prior, she had a stone face. She muttered, "Wow. So that's how you move now?" She inquired as to whether she felt caught off guard. She gave a nod. It was painful. I genuinely believed that he was unique. Then the internet went crazy with the remark, I'm not the girl who fights for a man. I'm the woman who lets clowns perform alone. Trending hashtags were hashtag NBAgate and hashtag Notch Chrisean. Some made fun of her, claiming that she draws trouble. Others spoke up for her, reminding everyone that it's never easy to heal in public. Even JT from City Girls appeared to be addressing the subject in a tweet. Don't allow your ex-partners, moms, or aunts to depose you. The drama was too much for Blueface to handle. He either removed it after posting a rock emoji next to a clown 10 minutes later, but screenshots are indestructible. Chrisean immediately returned the clap. When the tents are empty, the largest clown invariably speaks. Brands started responding in less than 48 hours. A cosmetics collaboration was put on hold while it was reviewed. Diddy was distanced from the incident by a statement sent by his team. In the meantime, Carissa posted offers from her own brand in an attempt to turn her hot moment into stardom. However, Chrisean's fanbase grew rapidly while unrest simmered. Additionally, O quickly made money on YouTube, TikTok, climbing, and Instagram. When it seemed like the chronology could go no further, Summer Walker interrupted with a 3-slide narrative that caused a sensation once more. Summer Walker gave Chrisean 3 strong Instagram posts to show her support. Narrative slides that sparked excitement among followers. She sounds like she finally woke up. Healing isn't linear. I feel her, followed by a selfie of Summer with the caption, Don't judge women finding peace after pain. You couldn't survive it. Finally, a snippet of an unreleased song with lyrics that fans swore were about Chrisean. I was recklessly loved by him. I love myself more now. Hashtag Summer and Chris right away. Fans begged for a sit-down as untrended. Anything would put these two together in a documentary series. However, Whack 100 Blueface's devoted manager chose to stir things up just as support was growing. He called when he went to the clubhouse Chrisean's behavior and emotional development. Now she's wailing for pity. With a sarcastic tone, he questioned. In an attempt to undermine her developing story, he even alluded to releasing unreleased Zeus backstage video, but the internet would not have it. Supporters retaliated, accusing Whack of holding onto pandemonium. His sole purpose is to protect Blueface's circus. Sukihana, an unexpected ally, then appeared after a person uploaded a montage of whack ranting and interviews with the remark, "This man needs a hug and a new hobby." An Instagram follow-up sparked a rare introspective tweet, which read, "Chrisean ain't crazy. She's a mirror. Most folks can't handle their own reflection. House. I also fought for love in the past. I now struggle for peace." The fans were taken aback. Truth is being spat forth by Suki. The NDA boo's ex reappeared with a flurry of purported receipts, screenshots, airline stubs, identical jewelry, and photos attempting to demonstrate their continued involvement. One tweet said, "Women like Chrisean have been villainized for surviving." The tides were shifting. The piece was short. Fans didn't bat an eyelid just a month ago. Someone wrote, "Sis, you're posting like you won, but he's with her in public." There were many tears. The timing began to be questioned even by tea pages. "Why now?" they inquired. "Why wait until the interview is over?" Chrisean, meanwhile, remained silent, allowing her followers and silence to speak for itself. Behind the scenes, something far larger was simmering in silence while social media was ablaze with responses to Chrisean Rock's most recent interview, incendiary videos, and drama that was trending. Even while it was noisy and disorganized, the online chaos was only a diversion from a more complex and calculated game that was taking place in the background. While detractors criticized her for her erratic conduct and admirers argued over every move she made, Chrissy was already planning her next power move, which might completely alter her public persona and remove her from reality TV fame to respectability in the mainstream. A suspicious blind item began making the rounds on a number of well-known buzz websites and blogs about entertainment, generating interest and excitement on several platforms. It was a short yet impactful post. Instead of working with Zeus, a controversial figure might be heading to a major streaming platform for her own unscripted series. Online speculative activity immediately exploded. Theories abound in Twitter timelines. Creators on TikTok shared reaction videos, and Instagram users bombarded comment sections with the moniker Chrisean Rock. In little time at all, she was adding gasoline to the flames herself. She shared an image of herself standing cockily in front of Amazon Studios with a straightforward but impactful comment, "Meetings, it's up." There were no formal announcements, no tags, and no in-depth explanations. However, just one picture spoke a lot. People soon understood that this was more than simply another viral gimmick. This was a turning point. The subject changed drastically. People suddenly started viewing Chrisean as someone who was changing the course of events, rather than making fun of her erratic conduct on Zeus Network or her tumultuous relationship with Blueface. This woman, who had previously been described as untidy, careless, and unstable, was now potentially collaborating with a major international streaming company. One fan tweeted, "She's turning the mess into a masterpiece," encapsulating the new sentiment that was quickly spreading on social media. Others quickly pointed out the irony in remarks such as "Blueface watching her in 4K, level up, poetic fairness." The entertainment industry's perception of Chrisean underwent a significant change as a result of this reported agreement with a major platform, particularly one like Amazon. It implied that there was someone with the business acumen to turn her fame into actual opportunities behind the reality TV moments and viral headlines. Once viewed as weaknesses, her emotional openness, rawness, and honesty were now viewed as marketable assets. The fact that this event symbolized more than just a new undertaking was what gave it such power. It represented a potential rebranding and a reclamation of her own narrative. Chrisean may now be writing, producing, and starring in her own story, after previously appearing as a chaotic supporting character in someone else's. Fame was no longer the only factor. It was about evolution, control, and converting the turmoil of the public into one's own currency. Chrisean is more than just weathering the media onslaught if this deal is genuine. She's driving it. This wasn't merely rumors, it had limbs. A picture of Chrisean standing firmly outside Amazon Studios that she shared on Instagram fueled the rumors. Although brief, the caption described meetings. "It's up," just enough to drive her fans into a frenzy. No tags, no additional explanation. All of a sudden, people were discussing more than only her troubles. They were also discussing her deals and the potential for a new chapter. From being viewed as a dysfunctional reality star who might potentially get a big unscripted deal with a service like Prime Video, even her detractors had to acknowledge that this was a watershed moment. Online, the tone changed. She is creating a masterpiece out of the mess. The sentiment of those who have witnessed her transition from viral moments and public outbursts to a woman who may be completely rewriting history was echoed by a user. As she leveled up in 4K, some commenters threw shade at her notorious ex-boyfriend Blueface. Someone posted a poem about poetic justice, and it received a lot of likes right away. Although it was not verified, this possible trade showed how far Chrisean had progressed and how cleverly she might be playing the long term. If she is indeed collaborating with a significant streaming behemoth, it indicates that Hollywood is starting to see past the turmoil and appreciate the appeal, the genuineness, and the compelling narrative. She has, after all, garnered more attention than most, and even fewer have been able to maintain it through highs and lows and all points in between. Above all, this moment made a deeper revelation. It's possible that Chrisean has finished playing defense. She no longer merely responds to news stories. The woman is revising them. This was more than just a photo opportunity from the viral chaos of Zeus Network to boardroom meetings with executives dressed in suits. It was an indication that people might wish to reconsider their preconceived notions about her. Because in the midst of the arguments, the tears, Chrisean is building something despite the cacophony. Boldly, quietly, and perhaps even on her own terms this time. The internet quickly responded to Chrisean's most recent chapter. The takes were everywhere, divided and loud as was to be anticipated. Her tearful interview and unexpected new romance were perceived by some viewers as merely a planned rebranding, a calculated action to change public opinion and tidy up a troubled past. Others, on the other hand, praised her unadulterated vulnerability and pointed out that owning your past requires true strength, be honest and resilient in the face of adversity. No matter where people landed, one thing was obvious: everyone was focused on Chrisean. Comment sections on all had takes, and unexpected praise were all over social media. "She's more intelligent than you all realize." While one fan commented, "I don't trust any of them, but I'll watch every episode," another fan wrote. Then came the sentiment that reverberated throughout the entire world. "She survived hell and is still alive." For a generation that has seen her rise, fall, and now perhaps rebuild. That sentence alone appeared to strike a chord, however, just as everything appeared to be turning around for her. Blueface's mother Teresa was responsible for the drama, train pulling back into the station. Carissa, who never likes to watch from the sidelines, threw herself into the fray with a wild live stream, her hair wrapped, her voice loud, and accusations flying. Chrisean had stolen, she said. A watch implied that she was being courted by NBA players only for influence, and even suggested that they would pass her around like a smoke. No evidence, no invoices, just a sloppy tint of resentment. Nevertheless, viewers were unable to turn away. Once again, social media exploded in awe of the scene rather than to support Carissa's assertions. Despite all the chaos, Chrisean remained unfazed, at least in public. Her silence to Carissa's insults said more than any clapback could. As if she knew the attention would eventually fade, Carissa wakes up and chooses violence. One user joked, while another fan called her the final boss of baby mama culture, capturing the surreal reality TV energy of the moment. Whether it was a rebrand or a rebirth, Chrisean appeared committed to moving forward. Not just as a viral celebrity, but as a woman in charge of her story. Based on the numbers, views, and barrage of reactions, people were not just watching, they were invested. Then came the turn of events. Leaked texts purportedly from Chrisean's NBA boyfriend. Screenshots of him saying, "She's crazy, but I kind of like that," were posted by an anonymous account. Also, good PR, since she posted, "About me, I've been trending." In just a few minutes, the hashtag The PR Stunt went viral, and fans freaked out. "Please, don't betray me again," at 3:04 a.m., Chrisean said. "Live no glam, no filters. Just her in a hoodie, raw and direct. She deserves better. It's okay if those texts are true," she remarked coolly. "But let me clarify. I'm a man's PR tool. My bag may be blocked by a label. For power, a mother may tell lies. However, no one is ever going to break me again." Then she grinned. "Take a moment to yourself." The same morning, a new Instagram page released a 10-second preview, adding, "They want chaos. I'm giving them a documentary." The voice of Chrisean on a black screen. "They thought I was a punch. The plot twist was me." After that, there were quick flashbacks, hospital stays, backstage brawls, and peaceful time spent with her infant. Once more, the screen turned black. Then, Chrisean rebirth is imminent. Chrissy sent out one final tweet just when the timeline felt it could take no more. Just 7 words, no hashtags, no emoticons. "He was never necessary to me, just tranquility." Mic drop. A dot. We now wonder if the NBA player is actually playing her. Is Carissa being honest? Or is she merely pursuing cloud once more? Is Chrisean starting a new chapter war at last? Simply a mesh in another plot? Will the actual, unvarnished truth be revealed in this rumored documentary? She moved from living off of Zeus to rewriting her story according to her own terms. That much is certain. We're all watching as this future age develops in real time, regardless of your stance on drama or Christianity.